Do you realize what you get when you change your letters around in Superintendent Evil's name? You get Superintendent File.
Dude, his name is literally Evil.
Evil. I guess. You gotta want it though.
So yes, I know I'm a little bit late to the hype train of the newly announced Gumball movie and series on HBO Max, but I don't really care. It's Gumball and I'm gonna talk about it no matter what. If anything, I would rather talk about it after the hype, so I don't look like I'm just riding the trend, because I actually want to think about the topic I'm talking about before deciding whether to make a video on it. Plus, I have a lot of other shows that I guess you could say are more relevant that I want to talk about. I've honestly been dodging reviewing this episode because of the fact that the actual status of Gumball at the time was so up in the air, and I thought it would be better if I covered it once things got confirmed. This means that I can look at the episode from the point of view of a teaser and not a series finale, which I would honestly much rather do. Especially since at the end of this video, we can talk about the news surrounding this new era of Gumball we seem to be entering. So without further ado, let's get into the series finale, The Inquisition, from the amazing world of Gumball. The episode starts off with Principal Brown rushing through the halls of Elmo Junior High, desperately running away from a 9-year-old who pours way too many hours into Call of Duty. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Is the library up to date with the district guidelines?
Let me check. We should get an answer in a couple of weeks.
What the? Are you telling me this is the latest edition?
The monks should finish the new one by the end of the next Renaissance.
The episode puts heavy emphasis on how far back the school is in terms of technology, which only causes Principal Brown to be even more stressed out. Why, you may ask?
He's coming. Oh! The school superintendent.
I don't think that it was a good idea to have the teachers be clueless about the superintendent. I mean, I'm assuming they've all been working here for a moderate amount of time, almost as long as Principal Brown. So I'm assuming they would at least have the same knowledge about the superintendent and his arrival, but I'll sweep that under the rug. So after a short but effective build-up, we meet Superintendent Evil. Oh, sorry. Evil, who is given the allure of a strict autocratic leader who doesn't take any nonsense.
Let me reassure you, I did not come to this school to break you and rebuild you from the bottom up. I came to break you. Any questions regarding my authority will be severely punished.
And I gotta say, I do love the way he's presented. His actor did an amazing job. The lighting here is executed well, making the whole scene feel ominous, and making Evil appear as a serious authority figure. Couple that with the way he's dressed, and him being considerably larger than everyone in the school, and you get an actually threatening antagonist, even if it's just for one episode. I'm also a huge fan of the mixture of 2D and live action in this episode. Now, while Gumball has always been known for blending different mediums together, whether it be 2D animation, 3D animation, stop motion, puppetry, you name it, there's just something a lot different about the way the superintendent is placed into the episode. Maybe it's just a placebo effect, but it just makes him stand out a lot more whenever he's on screen, which helps in making him look more villainous. Now, one thing I will say that I don't like about this episode is that nothing more is done with Principal Brown's character in this episode, except for a joke near the middle and the end of the episode. In fact, a lot of the characters are snubbed in this episode. They're usually only there for a quick joke, but that's it. The focus is mainly on Gumball, Darwin, and the superintendent. While yes, they are the main characters of the episode, so it would make sense for them to be the focus. But I feel like because of how much the school is affected by the superintendent's rules, there should be more engagement between the characters. Maybe a few scenes where we see the students interacting with one another more than just the jokes. Mind you, the jokes in here are actually really funny though.
I can't believe Carrie had to be buried if she wanted to attend class.
And I can't believe they used manure instead of soil.
Whatever you do, do it fast. He forced me to have a body. My heart is in my mouth. Although, judging by the taste, it may be my lower intestine.
And that's another thing I admire about Gumball. It's the fact that they will never shy away from making as many jokes as possible, even in more serious situations. It works because the show, while having a somewhat serious story in the latter seasons, is still a comedy at heart, and thus shouldn't be taking itself too seriously. If these jokes weren't in the episode, it just wouldn't feel like a Gumball episode. But what I admire most is that the jokes are written in such a way that they move the plot forward, instead of slowing down the episode. Like in this episode, whenever a joke is said, it's usually to emphasize the lengths that the superintendent goes in order to reform Elmo Junior High. It doesn't distract us from the plot, it does what it needs to do, and they move on with the story, which is something not many shows can pull off, let me tell you that.
Definitely higher. I forgot there's no sound in space.
Watterson and Water adopted son, detention.
And I feel like it's jokes like this one that really help out this episode. It's very slapstick and highlights the cartoony nature of this world, something which Superintendent Evil has made clear that he wants to remove. It's this kind of contrast between the ideologies of the superintendent and the students that raises the stakes of the episode, making you root for the students of the school. You don't want to see them stop being cartoony and wacky. That's the exact reason you even watch the show. This helps in making the antagonist more antagonizing. You sort of build up this dislike of the villain over time. Add on the fact that he's shown to be extremely ruthless and mean, as everyone follows his every command, even to their own detriment, and you get an interesting conflict that makes you want to see the story progress and the heroes win. Speaking of following orders even to your own detriment,
No, the normal way.
So brave.
That's a broom closet, though.
while this joke is very funny, especially at the end where Gumball says William basically went through hell to enter a broom closet, I get this sense of disappointment whenever I watch this. It's not because of the actual joke itself, mind you. It reminds me of whenever there's a documentary about Africa, and they intentionally film starving children just to make you feel bad and for you to keep watching. When these people casually stroll through poor villages without the thought of actually helping these people, that exact same anger fills me whenever watching this scene specifically. They watch this man damage his body, and in turn the only way he can see, and they just stand there. Truly horrible that some people would do this. So after some more good jokes, the episode finally gets to its main plot twist halfway through the episode. Yeah, this was a sign that something was about to go horribly wrong, I will admit.
I mean, half the class is already in Evel's office getting fixed.
Fixed is a good thing, right?
Gumball, Darwin, you're next.
Masami?
Who are you?
I'm Tina.
Who are you?
I'm Tobias.
Trust me. This is in your best interest.
We see that the superintendent has taken drastic measures into removing the cartooniness of Elmore, by literally removing the cartooniness of the students, turning them into more anatomically correct looking human characters, and eventually into full-blown human. This is surprisingly dark for a Gumball episode. Like, the way this is presented, seeing these characters become something you're not used to seeing, slipping into this sort of uncanny valley where you can't really tell if this is real or whether you're in a dream, is really creepy to me. I have to commend the animators and everyone who worked on this aspect of the episode. The characters also look strangely how I would depict them if they were human. Some of them even keep their original color schemes. It's really great, and it also makes me wonder how the show would work if everyone was like this. Just a thought, but one that keeps me up at night as well. I personally think that it was very clever for them to escape using their cartoonish conventions to highlight how much better it is that they stay cartoony, but let's move on. Alright, look. 2019 was a weird time. I don't know what else to say. All the characters get turned back into their normal cartoony selves, and Superintendent Evil gets absolutely played by Banana Joe.
Rob?
But who's hiding behind this mask? Oh no, sorry everyone. It is just Rob.
You fools! I did all this for a reason. Don't you understand what's going on in Elmore? You have two choices. Live in ignorance about what's gonna happen here, or listen to what I have to say. Why did they stop me?
And yeah, that's where the show ends, just like that. With the information we have now, I do think it's actually a very good episode. I think that the superintendent, even if it was just Rob in disguise, was a fantastic villain, and the visual elements of the episode were top notch. But remember, this was supposed to be the finale, and it left us hanging, quite literally. Naturally, because this was billed as the series finale, despite it not even airing on TV originally, instead going up on the Cartoon Network app, this ended up causing a lot of chaos amongst the community, rightfully so. Apparently, the creator, Ben Buckley, was not on the show during season 6, so he had no control over the ending of the show. All he knew was that there was a possibility of a movie coming out, which he had tweeted about in the past. We would never know the status of the movie until almost 2 years later. To quote from an article by Collide, the highly regarded animated series The Amazing World of Gumball is receiving a feature-length film along with a brand new series. These are the first 2 projects that have been greenlit out of Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe. Warner Brothers Kids and Family announced that a new original animated feature with the working title The Amazing World of Gumball, the movie, along with a new series, is coming soon to HBO Max and Cartoon Network. The Watterson family and the residents of Elmore return in a story about the biggest fan of Gumball coming across a missing episode of the series and accidentally opens a portal connecting his world to Gumball's. The film was described as being both comedic and emotional, as well as a fitting conclusion for the original series and its fans, all while establishing a new start for the upcoming series. The show's original creator, Ben Buckley, is returning as director and as an executive producer on the film. The film's script will be written by Shane Mack. Now, I'm gonna reserve my opening thoughts about the movie till we actually get something concrete like a trailer. However, there is something from this article that I would like to point out. It basically states that the movie is going to be an end to the original series, while at the same time establishing the start of the upcoming series. Now that sounds an awful lot like another franchise that recently got a movie, and the spin-off that also basically did the same thing with not so desirable results. Look, all I'm gonna say is that I hope it doesn't happen here. I do respect the writers of Gumball a lot, and I don't think that they would go the same route that SpongeBob did. They both work under completely different companies that have completely different standards, that's for sure. Anyways, what do you think of the upcoming Gumball movie? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Take care, thank you for watching, and I'll see you whenever.